In this video, we are going how if you understand this, you can have anything that you want. That's coming up next. Hey guys, welcome to HeartSpace, where on this channel we are helping you expand your awareness, your consciousness, and of course your heart. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So guys, in this video, like I said, I want to be going over how you can start to understand the laws of the universe a little more in order to get more to things that you want. Because why is it when you look out in the world, most people say they want certain things, they desire certain things, but they almost always find themselves in situations where that is not the case. They almost always find themselves not having the things that they want, the fulfilling life that they've dreamt up, or the career they want, the relationship they want, or whatever it is, whatever area you want to insert there. Almost, I would say the majority of people don't have what they want or even come close. Now, many people might chalk this up to luck or circumstances, but I'm here to tell you that I don't believe that's necessarily the case. You know, I've had both in my life where I have had things exactly not the way I've wanted, and then things exactly the way I have wanted, or had more of the good things I've wanted come into my life. And there was no happen chance occurring. What happened was I was doing deliberate things when I was getting the things I wanted, a more fulfilling life, all of that stuff that I'm going to share with you. And I can now see why, when I wasn't getting the things I want, why that was. So I'm going to share with you why it is a lot of people get what they don't want, and how you can actually start getting more of what you do want. So the first thing to understand is you've always been creating your own personal universe, whether you've been conscious of it or not. In the example where I wasn't getting what I did want, or wasn't getting what I wanted, I was not aware that I was creating my universe as I go, that I was creating my reality each and every single moment. And I'll get into how that is and how you can do that. But whether you are aware of it or not, you are. And when you become conscious of this, when you become conscious that you actually have more control than you realize, sure, there's a certain extent where you do not have control. You know, you are in a co-creative process with the universe, God, Brahman, you know, whatever you want to call it, whatever religious aspect you want to bring in here. But you do have an element of control. And I think one of the reasons a lot of us do not receive what we want, or even get close, or even move in that direction, is because we almost from a young age are taught to relinquish control, give it to these things outside of us, not the universe, by the way, but authority figures, all these other things. We're brainwashed by TV and other programming to believe that we need to give our power to these outside things, whether it's authority figures, whether it's things that we buy. You know, you can't be happy until you have the new video game, or you have the new car, or the new house, or even the new relationship. You know, that's what we're taught. And what essentially that's doing is relinquishing all control from within ourselves to the outside world, giving everything around us the power to make us happy or fulfilled, when that just isn't the case. So the first thing to understand is you actually are creating your reality as you go. You always have been, even if you're not conscious of it, but becoming conscious of this is going to help you now start creating the reality you truly want, or bring more of the things you truly want into your life. So how does this work? Well, to really make a long, complicated process short, it's your beliefs about the world shape the world for you. You know, you can read books like As a Man Thinketh to get an idea of this. In fact, that's a book I would recommend all of you to read. It is great. It is a short read. You can read it in 30 minutes. And you can even find a free audiobook of this book on YouTube. Just type in YouTube, As a Man Thinketh audio, and you'll get the whole book audio version on YouTube for free. It doesn't get much better than that. Just watch it on 1.5 times speed or 2 times speed if you want to blow through it. But it's an incredible book I revisit time and time again because it reminds me of this idea, and it gives me the tools necessary to remind myself, but also to apply the laws of the universe in shaping my own reality. And most of it is really comes out of your beliefs about the world, your beliefs about yourself. Because if you believe, for example, that your happiness comes from external things or from outside authority, you know, you're going to look to outside authority and external things for happiness, even if that's not the truth. If you believe that, you know, the world is a terrible and dangerous place that's out to get you, you will move in the world as someone who is always afraid that someone is coming to get you, or that you're going to get screwed, and you're going to move in that way. And I'm sure you can think of some people in your life who act that way, who are paranoid, who are incredibly negative, and what happens? They themselves become incredibly negative. They become distrusting of other people. They then hurt other people. You know, there's an expression I really like, which is called hurt people hurt people. You know, it's only from a very hurt, deeply hurt place that others have the capacity to hurt their fellow man or do things that would hurt others. And so the first thing is understanding the power of your belief. And if you actually believe the world to be a friendly place, if you believe you can actually have the things that you want, that you deserve the things that you want, that you are more than what all these programs and authority figures have been telling you, then you will start to move into that. And you will start to shape your reality around that. Now, let's go over a little more practical way of doing that, or breaking this down a little more to how you can actually start to shape your beliefs to be what you want. Again, you may not remember it, but your beliefs were shaped most likely in early adolescence as you were a kid by your parents, school teachers, other authority figures around you, TV, programming, all of those things. And these shaped your beliefs around the world. Your parents would tell you what was right or wrong. They would tell you what you should avoid and what you should move towards. You know, there's a reason, for example, that a lot of kids go the natural or the traditional collegiate path in life. If you live in a country that offers that and you can afford it, a lot of kids go that route and then accrue a ton of debt going that way, when if you really take a step back and think of it, it's kind of ridiculous in most situations. For some people it works, and for some things you want to do it works, but in my eyes it's kind of ridiculous for most situations, and that's why you have a ton of people in debt as they're at the age of 22, not knowing what to do, hardly having any life experience, and now they have this weighing debt on themselves. And the reason a lot of us do that is because we're taught that that's the natural right path to go by our parents, who don't, you know, they're not doing it to harm us, they're doing what they think is best for us, but by our teachers. The whole school system encourages that, and that's why a lot of people will make a decision to go to a university, for example, pay hundreds of thousands or close in debt, money they don't already have, and then be trying to pay off that debt for sometimes decades. So that's just one example of how programming as a young kid can really influence you. But the cool thing is you can actually change your programming. And the reason and the way you do this is the same way that you receive that initial programming. It's through your thoughts, your words, your actions, and you can also do some subconscious programming as well. And also just the energy you bring to all of those things. The reason that as kids we grow up with certain beliefs is because we are soaking up, we're like a sponge when we're a kid, we're soaking up the beliefs, the thoughts, the actions, the things we see the adults do, our parents do, the authority figures do, and we're thinking, okay, so that's how you're supposed to operate in the world. That's how the world works. I don't really know right now, I'm just a kid, I'm kind of playing around, but I start making noise and my parent yells at me, I'm getting this negative stimulus, this negative response, I don't want to do that anymore. It doesn't mean making noise is right or wrong, but to a parent, to an authority figure maybe in that situation, it is considered wrong, and therefore you now believe it to be wrong, right? So you are fed that belief, that those thoughts, those words, those actions, which then shape your belief. And then you start to believe, okay, being loud's a bad thing, or, you know, expressing myself maybe is a bad thing, things of this nature. So it all starts at that level of thought though. You'll notice right now that your thoughts totally align to how your reality is. For example, if you live in a very paranoid reality, you're always worried about things, just all you have to do to confirm that is check in on your own thoughts. And if you have a lot of paranoid thoughts, a lot of negative thoughts, well, there you go. You know, if you are a more positive person, you have a rosy outlook on life, you know, you live in a beautiful place, you are just abundant in all areas. You know, if we were to take a look at your thoughts, I guarantee they would be more positive thoughts. They would be more thoughts that bring about that physical equivalent. So for example, if you have a bunch of wealth thoughts and you're in that wealth energy because you're having these thoughts, you feel that energy, I'm willing to bet that most of your reality is filled with that as well. You know, if you're a very happy person, I'm willing to bet that you think mainly happy thoughts. You know, you don't get, as a man thinketh, it says, you know, you can't get one thing or have one thing and then get a totally different thing, right? You can't get anything from corn but corn, thistles from thistles. I think that's what they say in the book. And what that's saying is you can't think, you know, completely paranoid thoughts and then get these completely happy thoughts, or these completely paranoid negative thoughts or thoughts of lack, and then get abundance. And so it all starts at that level of thought. The way you speak will then be influenced by your thoughts, and then the way you speak is going to influence your actions. And as you can see from this process, it's all on you. Like I was talking about earlier, you have more control than you think. You know, you have the control to think the way you want to think, to speak the way you want to speak, and then to take action from those places. Those are things within your control. And yes, I understand there are a lot of outside influences that try and come in and influence the way you think. What do you think a lot of commercials are for? Advertisements. They're trying to influence the way you think, make you think you need certain things that maybe they're selling. You know, it influences the way you speak, right? Because maybe a lot of people are speaking one way and you're afraid to speak in a different way for fear of rejection or being cast out. And then your actions are 100% going to be influenced by that, because the action part is the hardest part to take. It's easy to think certain things. You know, no one can truly know what you're thinking. I mean, I can probably tell if you're thinking in a negative or positive way based on your demeanor and the energy you give off, but no one can really think or know exactly what you're thinking. Your words a little more, you know, but you know, sometimes they're, you know, not as impactful, so maybe you can say certain things, but the action is always huge. Because when you're doing something, you know, when you actually go out and take action, you know, you are proving that you stand behind something, right? I can't speak today. For example, for me, creating these videos is an action I'm taking, solidifying these beliefs within myself, right? I could talk about it, you know, just amongst myself or amongst friends. I could think about it, but now I'm taking action to put it out in the world, right? So it's a lot different than just thinking and speaking, although those are important as well. So understand that it's something you have an element of control over, actually full control, and be careful allowing all these outside influences to come in and dictate what you think, say, or do. Really take a step back and ask yourself, is this actually what I want to be thinking? Is this actually what I want to be saying? And is this actually what I want to be doing? So through that process, guys, you can change your reality and you can start receiving the things you actually want. And I've probably been doing this for a year or two now, really trying to influence my subconscious, really making sure I'm protecting my thoughts, my words, my actions. And it's led to a much more fulfilling life for me, where I live in a beautiful place that I love, where I get to do things I love for work, where I get to express myself creatively on this channel and in other ways. And my life has never been more fulfilling because I've aimed for that. I've aimed for fulfillment. I've thought the thoughts over and over again that bring that about. I've spoke about it. I've taken the action needed. And you can do exactly the same thing, but you have to interrupt the old programming and bring in the new, the one you choose to be, the one you want. All right, guys, so what I want you to do in the comments, I want you to let me know what it is you want and what it is you're going to do in order to bring that into your life, in order to create a reality of what you truly desire, what you truly want. You know, it's not enough just to say you want it. Actually have an action step, actually have a plan of things you're going to do. Maybe you're going to listen to certain affirmations. Maybe you're going to look up more things on how to control your thoughts. Maybe you're going to do some meditation. You know, put that down there in the comments. I want to know, and I'm going to be in there talking with you as well and helping you as much as I can. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This is more off the cuff, so it may have been all over the place, but hopefully you got something from it. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.